Hey, you're good. We here now.
Right?
Shit.
So I'm gonna hit the button in three, two, one, live,
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
and I'm live. And my mic
I'll be
fell.
the first one.
Fucking hell, my mic falls down all the time. All the goddamn time. My mic.
You need a mic stand, Badger. You
I
know
have a
that? You
mic
need a
stand,
mic stand.
but
You
it's
do?
a
And then
mic.
why does it keep falling?
My mic stand is not for. It's not a stationary one. It's a mic stand that's set up for singers. Right. All of
Oh.
my stuff is for singing. So like it's very like I can maneuver it and move it around, which is cool. But that means that it also always maneuvers and moves around on its own, which is not so cool. So
Uh,
yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, and I'm constantly having to adjust it because it's not just a stick with a mic on top. It's a thing with a thing on that bends. It's a bendy thing.
bendy thing.
Bendy thing. Oh man, I burped. Oh man, right.
Oh.
So how has everyone been? We haven't done one of these in like 2 weeks.
That's my fault. I've been like super busy. I've actually been like competing a lot on Sundays, because I've been signing up a lot. And I got like uh some top eights, some top threes, and it's just been kind of like crazy for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Understandable.
yeah, so I'm just like exhausted. By the time Sunday comes, I'm either waking up super late so that I can't really like participate, or like I'm just tired, man.
I'm still upset about G Fuel making me wake up so early.
Oh God. What was that like? 8 o'clock in the morning was your
No,
call
it,
time?
it wasn't GFO. That was CGL, right? So
Oh yeah, no, it was CGL. Yeah.
CGL's tournament, I did not sign up for my personal reasons, but I was told that it was like 8 mini tournaments to then become one big tournament,
Yeah.
and then it was 7 hours long. So imagine everybody who went through all of those brackets comes to grand finals and it's already 7 hours long.
Oh my God.
That is
Yeah, I
so
usually quit on
unhealthy.
those pretty early, and I'm just like, you know what? I think I want to sleep.
Right. I just can't
Like,
put too much stock in online tournaments. They're so much of a headache, and I know people want me to do them, but like my internet is not good, and I already have
unfortunately,
issues with it and me streaming. And every time I've done a online tournament, like obviously I have to
Something goes
stream it.
wrong.
Well, it's like I have to
Yeah.
stream it. Like I can't not stream that. But when I like the first online tournament I did where I didn't stream it, I just did it off stream and I won the tournament. And then like every other online tournament I've done where I streamed it, I've gone 0-2. Like I've lost every match, and it was always because of lag and
Yeah,
shit
no, I
like
never
that.
stream my tournament runs.
I used to, and depending on how serious the tournament is, or even the exhibition is, I will more than most often not do it, just because of that very reason between the connection issues. I'm also in like a super tense mode, so like unfortunately I don't have a poker face, so when I compete, my face becomes a different Saki. Like you will never see Saki pissed off at you. Like you will never see it unless you're seeing me in tournament, and that's my pissed off face.
Right?
So like I know, and it scares people, and people have told me, interesting enough, especially the people who like I work with and they see my streams, because I'm like really good friends with people like that. People have told me like, yo, you be playing, and like I feel your stress, and I'm not even playing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
it's so true.
and I'm
I've
like,
seen one of your streams when you're doing a tournament run, and I'm just like she is so like you have like. Have you guys ever seen Gurr like when
yeah.
he's in a tournament and his face is just all up in the camera and you just see like forehead and arched eyebrows? Like,
Yeah.
That is legitimately me. So I don't want to scare my viewers. So what I just do is like I just it again it depends on how serious it is. If it's one that I've just like let's say I signed up for four, right? And I'm just like, you know what, this is just for practice, this is for fun. I will just go ahead and just like stream it. But for the most part, I try not to stream my competitive stuff because honestly, it's just like a private moment too, you know. Um,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
too when like people are like so you I'll be playing right, and I'll be like, and people will be saying, oh, you need to punish this, or oh, you need to do
Oh my
this,
god.
and I'm just like I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, and I don't want to yell at you, right? Like I don't want to yell at you, but like I'm gonna yell at you because I'm really frustrated right now. So I need you guys to
Yeah.
chill out. And like even when I lose, I'm like, oh, like sometimes people will be like, oh, it's just a loss, and I'm like, yes, but you don't understand the amount of stress and pressure I just felt like playing this. Um,
Right.
so yeah, I have like, for example, someone just told me like they had Gurr cry on his shoulder during a tournament, and I'm like, that's me, and like I
Mm-hmm.
can't cry on stream, like I can't cry on stream if I lose. So, but you know, we're here, we're the gang's all back together
Right. Right. It's been too damn long. It's been too damn long, and it's one of those things where like the community, like the MK community, is just not in a good place,
again. Oh
and
my god.
Yeah.
like I,
So can I get the
yeah,
recap first, and then we can go down the line?
there's
Yeah.
too much to cover. Oh my god,
All right, so
Fun time.
let's get this.
we
Okay,
might have
so
like a 3-hour podcast if we try to hit everything.
So, I think what we should definitely talk about is the recent developments that's been happening right now, which is basically the state of the game. I think we're reaching an era, or not an era, a time period where everybody's once again shooting on MK11 and going back to the past games. But in addition to that, we have come to like some unsettling developments. The community has been kind of unifying in the sense that things in MK11 need to stale, but the difference in opinions of whether or not people like the game have been coming to kind of like head to head, and we've kind of had we actually had two important community members, Mr. Aquaman and Prince Panther, two people who have kept events alive in the online scene, sort of got like the pressure hammered down on them, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
obviously we had Mr. Aquaman who his exact tweet was if anybody doesn't like the positivity he spreads, go ahead and block him or unfollow him, which then led to Buffalo calling him out, going back and forth, one calling the other bad, the other one saying that you basically get paid for saying good things about NRS.
Which we
And
don't.
we don't. And I'm actually
Aquaman
gonna
doesn't get shit. I could tell
I'm
you,
gonna
Aquaman doesn't get a fucking penny from NetherRealm.
I'm gonna actually get into that because as a streaming and a brand ambassador and advisor, that's actually something that I can 100% confirm. Like what he gets and what he does not see a penny, and if he does, it is not what you think. It
Right.
is very shitty penny and very shitty rewards.
Yeah.
Um, but in regard in continuing like the whole like recap, and then we'll get into it. Um, we have, of course, he did a first attempt with Buffalo, but that pressure that came from both his from Twitter and into his own stream has caused him to take a break and even question if we're going to see another Coliseum. We also have people like Echo X Reborn, who's no longer part of like doing like his exhibitions, and then we have Prince Panther, who is now just announced as of yesterday will not be doing any more events, which as much as it's the community issue, I have some reasonings why I don't think it's so much a community issue, but more of like he's a prince, he's busy, and he has other investments that he can do, and right now he's not seeing the NRS community as a good investment. So
Yeah.
we'll go down the line from there.
Yeah, like people forget, and that was kind of the thing with Prince Panther is like, who is this guy throwing this money around? And I kind of was one of the first streamers he, supported and reached out to, and I was like telling people, I'm like, dude, he is legit a prince, And so when he
Yeah.
said that, I was like, "Oh man, did the drama get to him? Like, please don't tell me the drama got to him." And then I saw his tweets, and they're all very positive. He's like, "I love you guys. I just can't anymore." So I'm kind of defaulting to it's princely duties. He's got shit to do.
Yeah, everybody has their own life outside of these things, and more often than not, a lot of people seem to forget about that.
Yeah. Except for me, I don't have any life outside of Mortal Kombat anymore.
That's so funny. Someone actually told me the same thing. They're like, Saki, don't you have a life? I'm like, no. What makes you even think I have a life?
Yeah, my
It's
life
like
is
school
Mortal
and
Kombat.
MK.
People are like,
It's
you haven't
boring.
played Red
Nobody
Dead
got the fun.
2? And I'm like, no, the fuck, I have not played Red Dead 2. I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat, though.
Seriously. For me, it's just been Mortal Kombat and Fall Guys the past 2 days.
Bro, after this,
Like,
I'm heading straight
oh,
to Fall Guys.
Fall
I'm
Guys is
level
actually
21.
amazing. I'm only like 6.
Oh, catch
I
up.
haven't
It's so
even
But
had
much
a
fun.
chance to install.
you need to at least add it to your library, Badgers.
I
It's
did
actually
add
a
it to the
great game.
library, and
Okay,
I've
okay,
watched it,
cool.
and I want to play it, but like, fuck, dude, like that one day of playing Fall Guys is the day that I start missing flawless blocks, and I already miss flawless blocks.
I feel that, bro. I feel that so hard. I feel that so hard. But let's go down some of the lines. So let's start
Yeah.
off with the community itself before we get into the nice little, achievement and the things going on with Aquaman and Prince. We've actually spoken a lot in our past episodes that you can find on either of our YouTubes, on mine or on Honey Badger's YouTubes. Um, but we have spoke constantly about how like the state of the game is very stale, and including where like the meta of it is, and we've had many conversations where we have said that a lot of things in MK11, like breakaways, Jackie, fatal blow, the buffer system, a lot of these things need to change. Um, and in order for them to change, we need some sort of communication where at least NRS is seeing these complaints, these concerns, these whatever. So what I want to like actually bring up with you guys is yesterday, I'm not sure who it was because I can't remember at the same. Aaron the Mac, that's that is him. He actually tweeted to Tyler about something about the Chiefs and then mentioned a lot of the bugs that was happening in the game. Like he did like a trick saying like, "Hey, I'm a Chiefs fan. Now can you please fix these bugs?" And Tyler, the community manager for NRS, actually responded to them
Oh wow.
and actually said, "Yeah, we'll just send them back to to the the frame team, basically like the developer, like the actual
Yeah.
people who touch on the frames and such." And it's like, bro, why does
Like,
it take
that's.
someone to make a trick or a prank like that? Why does it take it that to just hear from you?
Yeah. Like, they should just listen to their community without needing an incentive to, because it's their community.
At least they got a response when I tweeted out that fucking broken shit. Like, I didn't get any kind of response. I mean, I didn't at everybody because, like, from what I gather on Twitter, it's like bad. Like, it looks desperate if you at everybody. So I just
It
added
does,
NetherRealm.
but at the same time, nobody's gonna see if you don't. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
So I only added NetherRealm, and I'm like, yo, dude, like, Jackie literally breaks the game. Like, she's literally broken. And, like,
Yeah.
she needs to be at least, like, I am now 100% on the ban Jackie train after I tweeted that shit. I'm like, dude, she's broken. Like, she should not be allowed in competition. This is bullshit. And, like, I got nowhere with it. Like, a lot of people, like, I didn't make a YouTube video on it. I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow on that broken. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet I put out. Jackie ignores up threes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That actually happened to me when I was fighting Jukes the other day. And not only can she duck him, she can just do a shrapnel.
Yeah, shrapnel
Yep.
blows him up.
And the up three is useless. I was in shock because I never had fought an upgraded Jackie that is like as high level as Jukes. That's actually been one of my things where like this past week and past 2 weeks I've been trying to get like high level sets with like Wise, Jukes, Slayer, a lot of people who have already kind of tasted the upper levels of the scene basically, and kind of think a little bit more in terms of fundamentals and just the characters. And I can honestly tell you that when I saw that happen, I'm like, oh, so what do I do? Like,
Right?
what do I do then at that point? Do I just hold the shrapnel and then pray to God I take my turn back? Or, like, what
Better
do
hope
I
you guess
do?
right.
Hope I guessed right. Hope I guessed right. So,
And I even added
so,
Tom
yeah.
Brady too. The fucking Mister Every fucking video is Buff Jackie or Nerf Jackie. I mean, like the guy who's making all the anti-Jackie tech, and he's still saying, "Oh, she doesn't need to be banned." And I'm like, dude, she ignores a
She does.
mechanic. She needs to be banned. Nobody else can ignore up
Yeah.
threes. Like this is bullshit.
See, my thing is though, like with Jackie, like, and this literally happened with me in tournament. It's where I made the right read, and then I still got punished for it. And I was like, I know this is a tournament, but I want to rage quit so bad.
Right?
Like, it's just like you make the right read, and then Jackie just hits you with fucking reverse Uno, draw 12. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get it.
And I think that
So,
that's one of the things, right? That everybody is
yeah.
so like talking about the negativity and all of that. It's like, dude, like we're sick of this character being in this game in this state. Like
Yeah,
nobody
Yes.
wants to play anymore because it's like, dude, if I play, I have to fight Jackie, and she's broken. Like she's broken.
pretty much.
So
Like when
now I
I'm
don't
in
want to play.
tournament and I see that in my bracket, I'm just like, yeah, GG's. If I don't make it, I'm ready for the nap anyways.
So I was fighting I was fighting two upgraded Jackies. I was fighting Zork and I was fighting Nightbreed. And I so other than I like what happened with those matches, right? As a like for me, when I was playing and I was realizing or reading all the tweets about the community, it actually like was a struggle for me. And I don't normally say I'm tired or I'm exhausted from this, but as soon as got to an upgraded Jackie, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is exhausting. By the time I got to the next person, I'm like, holy shit, this doesn't even feel like I'm winning. Like it's like, you know, that meme is like, are you
Yeah.
winning that? That's literally me. That is
And for
literally
me, it's like when you fight upgraded, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like when you win, sometimes it's like it doesn't even feel rewarding because it's like, did I even outplay them or did I just guess right? Like,
Or did I just overwhelm them? Like every time I beat an upgraded
yeah,
Jackie, it's like I got a flawless round. Like I just 50-50 them to death, and I got lucky that they guessed wrong every time, and I
for
was
me.
able to kill them.
yeah,
For me, it's the same. I'll zone them out and I'll just overwhelm them with the zoning, and then it's like, okay, I just kept you from jumping. You just didn't know how to come through. Like you
Right?
just didn't know
yeah,
how to get through the obstacle course, and you
yeah.
didn't
Or it's
get
just
right.
like the MK11 in a nutshell thing where it's like you outplay them the entire round. You got almost a full bar of health. They're at like 10%. You guess wrong once, GG's.
Right? Forty
Like
percent unbreakable.
into a
Like
reset,
yeah,
and then
40.
another 40%, and then two grabs, you're dead.
Yeah, and you're just like fuck this fucking character. Like, and then the fact that like an entire defensive mechanic, one of the few tools you have to stop her,
Won't
and it's
work.
like that doesn't work. And you're just like, great. So like one of the few things I have to actually fight this fucking thing doesn't even work. Like
No,
this character needs to be banned. She needs to be fucking removed. Until NetherRealm gets their head out of their ass, I don't know who's a Jackie fan. I don't know who loves this character there, but obviously somebody loves this character because
Which one of y'all did it?
she stayed the same. She hasn't changed hardly since the game released. And that's one of the things that people are complaining about with the game is that like, yo, dude, the meta, like the top 5 characters outside of Joker being added as DLC and Liu Kang and Johnny Cage getting kind of discovered to being good, like it's been Garrus, Jackie, Cetrion since the game released.
it has. It has. So you know what? This is actually something that I found in chat, and I feel like this might be the last resort solution. Just get Jackie. Just have its all top 8 Jackie. Just have an all top 8 Jackie.
Well, I mean, it's already that
Hmm.
getting that way anyways. If we were
It is
offline,
actually. I've actually realized it. Like I think it was one Coliseum, and we had Kerbal, but Kerbal didn't go Cabal in the matchup. He went as Jackie, and then
Oh my god.
we had a good amount of Jackie.
Not gonna lie, that's actually kind of funny.
But it's a Leroy situation. It's a legitimate. This is literally our
Yeah.
Leroy situation.
Well, I mean,
This
Final
is
Combat was that way. We had what? Top 16 was fucking like 8 Jackies or some shit. Like,
When Dragon's entire tournament path was
yeah,
fighting Jackies.
yeah. The
that's
only
again
reason why there were no Jackies in the Final Four was because they all fought
Dragon is
Dragon.
literally a god for that.
Well, but he
It's
plays
because they
fucking
all lost to
Cetrion.
Dragon.
I mean, like,
well, that's
Cetrion
the
Yeah,
is
other
just
character
as much
too
of a
that we need to
problem.
talk about. That's like the other character too. Like this is where I agree with
yeah,
Badger about the whole like the meta is stale. Like I'm as much as I would like to say that most of the online tourneys that I've seen have different characters. When you kind of think about it, both on the offline and the online, there's at least two characters from top. There's a Jackie, there's a Cetrion. The two characters could be either Geras, Liu Kang, or Johnny. One of the three. Then
Or Joker.
four. Or then there's a Joker. There
Yeah.
is a Joker, and then it's like I'm trying to do math, but then the other four are like some high mid tier, which could be Katana, Jade, Shang, who else? Cabal, because Cabal has reached a couple of top eights. Um, like it's like stale right now, and I agree with that. What I'm trying to understand is like I feel like people also are kind of very quick to attack too. Like I get we're really frustrated. Don't get me wrong. We are very valid with our frustrations. We're the community. We like the streamers and the community themselves. Like we are legitimately the ones who are kind of providing content, especially now with everything that's
yeah.
going on. But that what's very even more frustrating is we're not asking you to do immediate fixes. We just want recognition that you see it. And I think what
Yeah.
hurts the most is when we see a community manager kind of fall for a trick like that we saw yesterday. It's like
It's
okay,
almost
so you are
disappointing.
seeing it.
Yeah.
It's almost disappointing. Yes. Now, some people are like, well, obviously he's quiet so he doesn't get people to like bash on him like how Ed Boon and stuff is. But like we're already a few months after aftermath and these problems that we've been addressing um have still been yet to be addressed. Now,
Yep.
like it's just frustrating. I don't think we should attack people, but I also don't think we should be we should just ignore like equivalent. You get me? Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword too. And I understand a community manager is a very tough job. Like community managers have the
Oh
worst
yeah.
job. It's the worst job ever because you will never please anybody. And I understand there's like some like contracts and legal stuff and all this other crap going on, but like you gotta give something. Your job is to tell your boss, hey, this community is not feeling good. Like this
Exactly.
community is up. Can I please at least get something drafted so I can tell them, hey, we see it, we're working on it.
Yeah, but
Like
you
look
got to
at
think about it from his perspective. Eventually, all of his tweets are, "We're looking into it." You know, like because that was what got people
That's
happy was
true.
that he said, "We're looking into it," and it was like, finally, you've said something. Why haven't you said more? What like, what can he say at the end of the day? That just means like every time
Yeah.
someone tweets at him, he's just going to reply. Like he may as well just make a bot that says, "Yeah, we're looking into it."
Have you seen the Fall Guys Twitter by chance?
No, I haven't.
Not like this
Okay,
morning.
the Fall Guys Twitter is probably the best example of a community manager running the
Oh
social.
yes. They are on it.
They had horrible servers, and I kid you not, the launch day was probably the best and worst day because the servers were so overwhelmed. Now, I'm not saying that we need a tweet for every tweet, basically, but when it got to a point where like people are like, "Yo, your game's kind of like fucked up right now," Fall Guys said, "Listen, we're not in charge of it, but we got this. We're already working on stuff." And they
Yep.
literally kept going with the rest of their tweets. Like they addressed it and they kept moving forward. They did like a whole meme contest, they did a whole meme poll, they did a whole like meme video, but they addressed it. They did one tweet and said our servers are fucked. Please give us a minute to actually fix it. And we started seeing progress and we left it alone. But at least they addressed it. At least the social media manager and the community manager said, here, we know You can ask all you want. There's a Discord for you to ask. But just know we know, and we're
Yeah.
working on it. Like, I don't want to tweet. I don't want 10,000 tweets or a response to every tweet that gets like that tags Tyler in. I just want that one tweet. I just want that one tweet. And the majority of the people who are actually caring about the game and like the game just want that one tweet.
Yep. We're just
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah, and I think the thing that compounds the issue with the lack of communication is just that things have been the same the whole time. You know, like people have not like Fatal Blow and Breakaway and Jackie are not new complaints. We've had this shit for a year. So they haven't done anything and they're not communicating. So what are we supposed to think? Like this is just how it's supposed to be? You know, like, and that's what I've been telling
Yeah.
my community is like, yo, dude, like Jackie, like you could say all you want, but Jackie is the way she is. She's been that way for a year. Obviously, they're happy with that, or they would have changed it. It's not like there hasn't been patches. Uh-oh, did somebody get kicked out?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
We good. We good.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay, cool.
So like I'm at the point where I think like, yo, dude, Jackie is playing or she's working as intended. And that's like my take on that is like, yo, dude, like it sucks, but that's what they want. They want her to be that way. And that's the end of the day. That's the end of the discussion. Fatal Blows are working the way they want to. They could have changed them. It's a lot of things. A lot of people have made a lot of suggestions that are pretty reasonable
Yeah.
and probably not that hard to implement, and they haven't done it. Probably because they want Fatal Blows to be the way they are. They want every Fatal Blow to appear in every fucking match. And that's the problem I have is like, dude, I'm sick of seeing these things. They're really fucking long.
Yeah.
It's like the Dragon Ball Z like animations, or even
Oh
the
my
Grand.
god.
So what I like about Grand Blue is like you have a choice whether to do like the full animation or the full Skybound art. Um,
Yeah,
and
like
but
it gives you
quick.
different options.
It's quick and there's different options, but in in the entirety of the message, regardless if they're wanting something to work, like it's working as intended, um, there's still a lack of communication. And that's actually another proof in point that the lack of communication or the miscommunication even is so strong in the NRS scene between devs and the community. And for whatever reason it could be, it's just super frustrating to see, and um,
Shit.
it's
Like,
causing like it's definitely causing that like frustration, and it's building up for that frustration. Now, there's a way to respond with that frustration. And I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, if you don't like the game, we don't play it. And
right?
that's how the message gets across. How many
Yep.
times, Badger, have you told me or warned us in this podcast that if people don't, if like things don't change, NetherRealm, like nobody's gonna be playing MK. How many times have you said that?
Like every
Yep.
single podcast, like
Every single podcast.
I'm like, yo, if we don't as a community fucking get our shit together, like there you look at the number of people, like I have X number of viewers watching me now, you have X number of viewers watching you now, but there's only 3 of us in this podcast, right? So the
Yeah.
vast majority of people in this community are not people with a voice. The majority are the voiceless. And we are the voice of them, right? They're watching our, podcast. They're watching us on Twitch. They're watching us on YouTube, and they continue to support us, which means that we are speaking for them. They agree with the things that we are saying. And, even if you're pulling like 30 viewers, that's one person to 30 people who agree with them. And so the
Yeah.
vast majority of people are venting these frustrations. They're frustrated, they're mad, they're angry, and it's like it's up to us to kind of like quell that riot. And at the end of the day, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I've got a podcast. I
Yeah.
bitch about it. I tweet it, NetherRealm. I say, listen, I literally just watched. I run AI battles in the background when I stream this podcast, and I literally watched Kung Lao's fucking Fatal Blow whiff on the second hit, a thing I've been complaining about. I'm like,
I
dude,
saw that.
it's a fucking combo. Why is that shit whiffing on the second hit? Well, the first hit hits, and I've been complaining about this forever, and it's like, what the fuck do I say? And people are like, why aren't you playing Kung Lao on stream anymore? And I'm like, because I'm tired of that shit. tired of losing for that. I am so sick of losing when I made the right read, I made the right call, I go into practice mode, the combo works, and then here I am watching the fucking AI character fuck that shit up too. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, what do
Yeah.
I do? What do I tell these people? I like this game. I wouldn't play it if I didn't. But when that shit happens to me and I get mad, like, I know that the people watching are getting mad for me. But when they play and they see the same shit happen to me, happening to them, and it's like, I get money for this, right? People subscribe, they fucking donate, whatever. I get money. I have motivation to keep going. But like, fucking Jim Bob sitting in his fucking couch playing Mortal Kombat and his combo doesn't work because of some wonky hitbox issue. He's not getting paid to play Mortal Kombat, you know, even though I get
Exactly.
very little. I get like, you know, fucking maybe $100 a month for this shit, right? But he's not getting anything. So he's just like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to play fucking PUBG. I'm going to play Call of Duty. I'm going to go play fucking Tekken, you know?
Exactly. Because there's no reason for him to want to play a faulty game.
Yep.
Like,
And it's like, what do? I don't know what to do, and I yell every time I'm on my stream. I'm like, NetherRealm, I am doing my best to sell this game for you, but you've got to work with me. You've got to give me something to sell, okay? I'm a good talker. I'm a smooth motherfucker, right? But like when this shit happens and I get frustrated, I can only imagine, like somebody who doesn't have the motivation that I do, they're not coming back. And when they're gone, they're gone. And we may not see them when MK12 or Injustice 3 or whatever next game comes out, they may not come back. Because you know what? You know what's going to happen? They're going to go over to Tekken. They're going to go to Street Fighter. They're going to see that shit doesn't work there.
Happened.
Yeah, and they're going to be like,
exactly
this is
what's happening right now.
yep, everybody's switching over.
Yeah, and they're not coming back. They're going to be like, fuck, dude, Tekken is great. I'm just going to play this shit. This shit is fucking fun. And I don't have wonky, weird-ass hip. When I do a combo, it fucking works. I do it in practice mode. I do it online. It works every fucking time. There's no random numbers game of will your combo work because of some goofy-ass hitbox. And it's like, they're not coming back because I play every fighting game, right? I play all of them. I love all. I've competed in so many. I competed in Persona fighting game. Like, I didn't even care about Persona when it came out. And I played that shit in tournament. And so, like, I know, like, those games, like, they have staying power. And when someone leaves a game, they don't come back because those games will keep them. If someone leaves Mortal Kombat and goes to Tekken, Tekken is not a bad game. Tekken's a good game. And Tekken has a lot of depth. And when someone goes to Tekken, they don't come back.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Persona Arena Ultimax or whatever. That game was the shit.
I kind of low key want Arc System to give me a Persona game, low key. But anyways, that's the besides the point. So like what I want to actually talk to you guys about now is we obviously come to a consensus that the community isn't happy and shit needs to get resolved. We need acknowledgement, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
But we have an issue with the community itself because now, like, NetherRealm, we already told you what your problem is and what you can do to honestly fix it.
Yeah, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Exactly. Now it's the community that I want to bring up with that I specifically have a problem with, which is that this community cannot listen to each other and come to a reasonable debate.
Sounds about right.
Like
Pretty
literally,
much.
what happens is we attack people instead of actually hearing them and hearing the other side. And now we end up with people leaving the community for good and no longer having events. And that's the shit that actually bothers me. We have people who are gatekeeping the community, okay? We have people who are basically saying, well, I don't like MK11. You shouldn't like MK11 either. And if you do like MK11, you don't know how to play a fighting game. Like, what is
I wish a
that?
motherfucker would tell me some shit like that. I wish a motherfucker. I'm going to go and collect all 7 Dragon Balls and summon Shenron so that I wish a motherfucker would.
That's literally in the tweets, bro.
Yeah, I see that a lot. NetherRealm has a bad reputation within fighting games, and a lot of the people within the greater fighting game community have kind of given me shit for supporting NetherRealm because I am not just a NetherRealm player. Like, I have friends. Like, dude, I'm telling you, fucking Chet Chetty, a legendary fucking Tekken player. Last time I saw him, he's like, dude, drop that shit, man. Tekken is always here for you. You know, like Rip, Rip, who fucking commentates Evo and got top 8s at Evo for Tekken, is like, dude, we miss you. Why are you fucking with Mortal Kombat? You know, like, trust me, don't even tell me I don't play other fighting games, because like I'm very, very well connected in other fighting games. Like, I have Alex Valle
Yeah.
on fucking speed dial. Like, I can play any fucking game I want. Okay, don't tell me that I'm a scrub lord for playing Mortal Kombat.
Like I wanna tell you guys why I like MK11, right? I like MK11 because one, it was a very good fighting game for me to start with. Okay, I
Yeah.
did not know jack shit about fighting games, um, and I feel like if someone was to tell me, hey, what's a good fighting game I could start with, I'd probably show them MK11 because it's probably the best one to show a basic understanding of some of the fundies that you can probably find in games like Sam Show, Grand Blue, and things like that.
Yeah.
I love everything from character design to actual move sets to actual uh, character creation, dialogues, even story. I love all of these things. And then in addition to that, I love that like the flawless blocking system for me is probably the best system that I've come across because I enjoy like taking my turn back and stealing my turn and kind of like playing a game of chess basically. Okay. I mentioned that on Twitter and I legit feel like I'm getting attacked by people. I
Mm-hmm.
legit feel like I can't have a good like I'm not saying that the game is perfect, but if you show me MKX and Injustice 2, bruh,
Don't get me
I
started on MKX.
like
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god.
you're telling me you played that or even Injustice. You're telling me you played those games and you don't see how good MK11 is from those games. Like they literally fixed whatever your complaints about were those games and they put it in MK11.
They even went as far as to delete Doomsday into Injustice 2. Before we even got to MK11, they're like, yeah, we're getting rid of that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Like, there's a lot to like. I hate mechanics similar to Flawless Block. I've always traditionally just hated them. And,
Yeah, I'm on
like,
the fence with Flawless Walks.
but here's the deal, Flawless Block is the first one I've actually liked. I hate games that have very, very tight execution requirements. And you guys know, I play Kung Lao. Like, execution is like 80% of my character, Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you with that.
but I
No, but I
generally actually hate execution as a requirement. I hate when things are too hard because I love fighting games and I love getting people into fighting games. And when I hand somebody something like Tekken and they're like, oh, I want to play Kazuya. And it's like, oh, yeah, you got to do this just frame. Otherwise, you can't play Kazuya. And then they don't want to play. And now I don't have anyone to play with. So I prefer things to be easier. And so I generally, like, I hate Third Strike. I hate the parry mechanic. Yeah, the Daigo video was really cool. I still hate that shit. And the until MK11, the only one I liked was Just Guard in Garou Mark of the Wolves because it was basically I'm doing something that I'm already going to do anyways. If I just did it really like precisely, like I get a little bit of chip health back. Like it's not going to make or break my match if I can or cannot do it, but if I can do it, it's helpful. And I feel like Flawless Block, first of all, is a lot easier than any of those mechanics. And second of all, you can actually, like, when's the last time anyone saw Sonic Fox Flawless Block? I don't even think Sonic Fox has ever Flawless Blocked in a tournament.
actually, so I remember this was actually a debate between Sonic Fox and not between Sonic Fox and Ninja Killer. I think it was actually when people were like analyzing their games. Sonic Fox did more micro ducking and teching and kind of just being up in your face, whereas Ninja Killer was the more defensive player with the actual flawless blocks.
Yeah. And yet Sonic
Yeah.
Fox wins all the tournaments. So you don't need Sonic Fox. It doesn't gatekeep your ability to play the game at high level. And that's what I like about it. Is like if you have it, it's just another tool. It's just another thing that I can do to help me win, but it's not going to make me win if I can do it and you can't. Whereas other mechanics like that, like, like just frames in Tekken, fucking parrying in Third Strike. If you cannot parry, you cannot play Third Strike. Do not bother. Like Daigo's video was parrying at the highest level, but if you can't even do basic parrying, don't buy that game. You will not have a good time.
So what I want to kind of use this podcast and sort of like expanding the message of what I'm trying to say is, like, I get that there's some things that NetherRealm can do better, and I personally will say that, like, I would just want that one tweet to be like, "We acknowledge you," right? That's what I would be asking, because everything else, I'm more than happy to wait. Most fighting games don't have the big expansion and balance patch that we got until literally after year 3 of their lifespan.
Yeah.
Okay, but the one thing I want to kind of like really put on point and really put people into perspective is, if we can never be satisfied with what we have, which is right now MK11, and we continue in this like toxic spiral or like cycle of, we hate the game, we love the game, we hate the game, oh, let's go back to another game like Injustice or MKX, we hate the game, we hate the game, and then MK11 dies, like, we will never be out of that cycle. And honestly, it's just gonna get to the point where NRS is like, okay, we're done with fighting games. Here's
Yep.
a remake or a remaster collection. Bye. Don't call us. We'll have a team just for you guys to make sure servers and stuff are working, and just relive the past. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
I
you
wouldn't
like?
blame them for doing that. I mean, everybody always talks about how
I
great
don't blame them for
MK9
doing
was. Why not just remaster MK9, as bullshit and stupid as that fucking game was? You guys didn't compete in
Yeah.
that game. I have said many, many times, like, this is the first time NetherRealm's got it right. I've played all the old games. That's how I know Slayer in person. That's how I know Tyrant. That's how I know Wonderchef. I played these games. I played them at high level in tournament. I know how shitty they are. Trust me. You know, you can sit here and wax nostalgic about these old fucking games, but trust me, you have no idea how good it is. Most people don't even know about Player One Advantage. They don't even know in MK9 Player One literally has an advantage.
The fact that that was a thing was so funny.
And people don't
Like,
know.
I'm so happy I wasn't competitive with that game, because oh my god, I probably would have quit.
Yeah,
One
I
quick
did.
last thing, by the way. One quick last thing. For anybody who's like, oh, but what about all of these cosmetics they're going? Like, let me explain something to you guys super quick and like super straight to the point, because I never want to hear this again. There are different departments in a developer, and we all developers start small and then they grow into whatever size that they are, but there is different departments, and this is the same issue that happens with the Dead by Daylight community. The art department and the cosmetic department is not in charge and should not be attacked by people who are asking for balanced game changes. Literally, they are doing their job. Okay, they're the ones doing it. What we need to do is calmly and again show what's wrong with the game or what we feel is wrong with the game, and then proceed with the correct people like Paolo, like who else, Dizzy,
Yeah,
or
because
even
people shit
Tyler
on
to
Stephanie
that
all
point.
the time, and I'm like, Stephanie doesn't do anything. You probably want to talk to Dizzy.
Yeah.
Dizzy is the one that actually
Thank
works
you.
in the fucking balancing and shit. Paulo does like single player. He works on the fucking towers. You complain about towers
Yeah.
at time, you hit up Paulo, but I think Dizzy is actually on that team. Maybe complain to Dizzy, but nobody ever shouts out Dizzy. They call fucking Stephanie a tranny and they say shit to her, and it's like, dude, she has nothing to do with that. She's QA. Like, did you find a bug in the
Yeah.
fucking the controller settings? Does it not work when you set your buttons? That's what Stephanie does.
Yeah. Everybody just likes to get on Stephanie for whatever reason, and she doesn't even do any of the stuff that people have problems with.
I absolutely hate when people are like, oh, well, they just gave us skins. Like, bro, of course they're just going to give you skins, because that's what the art department's job is. Like, everybody has a different schedule. Everybody has a
Yeah.
different project management goal and tool. Like, that department is in charge of getting you this content. If they didn't give you the skins that you had requested, like, for example, people were saying that, oh, we need more skins from Aftermath because we were promised more skins. Like, okay, then that's a question for the art department. Hey, art department, when are we getting these skins? Or when can you tell us? Or what can we expect? Okay, cool. That's the art department. Don't come to them and say, yo, your game sucks. Therefore, you guys suck. You guys are not doing your job. Bro, what?
Well, it's because the whole NetherRealm community is a bunch of fucking Karens, right? They're at fucking Macy's,
Yeah.
and they're in the fucking shoe department complaining about housewares. They're like, dude, these forks and spoons fucking suck. I want to talk to your manager. And it's like, yo, dude, I sell T-shirts. Like, I can help you with a T-shirt. And the whole literally, you guys are a bunch of fucking Karens. Like, we should call them the Karen realm fucking community. Because you're just bitching at people who have nothing to do with anything and wanting to speak to their manager. Go get your side part haircut and your Gap outfit and fucking just accept that you're a bunch of fucking Karens. Because that's what it
I
is.
mean, that's what's coming to.
And
that's honestly what's coming. No, I agree with you, Creative. If that's honestly what's coming into, and honestly, when I hear like, oh, again, when I hear, oh, NetherRealm isn't communicating or isn't telling us if these things are going to be changed and stuff, I sometimes honestly will say, well, to be honest, we're kind of a shitty community. I wouldn't even want to talk to my community if they were asking me stuff like that. I wouldn't even want to be like, hey, listen, this is what's happening, guys. Please give me some patience here. Like, because you guys are literally draining me and you're literally telling me that I'm doing my job bad. And yet you're still playing the game. You're still enjoying my community. You're still enjoying the streams. Like that. Like I'm listening to you, but you gotta give me some time too. And also, COVID doesn't help. Right. I feel like people don't understand that. There's actually a report that I found really interesting. This is a separate game, but this is actually a situation that a lot of developers are going through right now. Square Enix is obviously, about Final Fantasy 14, right? Mm-hmm. Square Enix had to delay a lot of their quest patches, like their expansion patches and whatnot, because to move to their homes is actually quite impossible. It's very difficult because the servers, the technology, the space, like all of that stuff has to get transferred to their homes to obviously pay attention to social distancing guidelines. And it's made their jobs 10 times harder. And just like Square Enix is going through that, every other gaming developer is going through that. So I can only imagine that when you see NRS doing like a Kombat cast and it literally comes from their home, like that's the space that they have to work with. They don't have their office space. They don't have their big, strong computers like you would think that they would have in a developing office. They don't have the RAM, the resource, the power. Like there's literally people who are going back homes to be with either their family because they still live with their family or with their own family, like their wives, their sons, their kids, whatever the case may be. And it's like they're not in their normal environment to keep producing content, and they're trying to. Like, COVID hasn't helped that either. And I feel like people are just like, well, fuck ignoring COVID, fuck you, you're not doing your job. Like, hello?
Like, how am I supposed to do it when I could get COVID?
Right? Like, I
like
think
people don't think that we're all regular people, too.
Well, I think the optics were hurt by the release of Aftermath. I mean, NetherRealm came out and said, yo, dude, Aftermath came out because it was basically done before the quarantine, but people don't, they're fucking ignorant and
people don't think about it.
And they're like, oh, well, you made Aftermath. Aftermath came out during quarantine. Wow, why can't you fucking fix this shit? And it's like, yo, dude, like, that was all done. Like, Kerry Tagawa is back home working on whatever else now. Like, he recorded that shit last year. He's not here anymore, and like, again, it's just the community is, I could go on and on about the things that I think are wrong. And there are things that people have, things that I have complained and warned the world about for a long time are coming to pass. And nobody listened to me. And a lot of it, especially with the NetherRealm community, I've called this shit out many, many times. I said, yo, dude, NetherRealm, the MK community is way too esports, okay? Like Evo, fucking Combo Breaker, all those things, those grassroots tournaments that we look up to, they were never esports. It was always just dudes in a garage, and eventually they bought another PlayStation, and then another, and then another, and then now they can't do the tournaments in their garage, and now they're doing it at home. And it just grew from there. And the MK community didn't do that. They jumped headfirst into esports out the gates. And it's like, dude, Once you do that, once you get
Yeah.
money involved, that's why it took me so long to even set up my own tournament. I said, once you get money involved, shit gets corrupted. I've seen it happen. I watched NetherRealm, the NetherRealm community fall down that hole. You look at Tekken. Tekken didn't do that. Where's Tekken now? Still growing, slowly but surely, but still growing.
Yeah.
Whereas the money dried up. How many people are going to fucking play Mortal Kombat now that Prince Panther isn't giving away $10,000 a month?
which is
Yep.
crazy when that shit happened. Like even then people were still unhappy, regardless of
Yeah.
like I understand people are like, oh, he didn't pay us or whatever, but he still paid you. It just took a little longer than normal.
Because
In
he's in
some
another
aspects.
fucking country.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
people are so quick to draw on their emotions of anger, and then they say shit, and then it's like the community feeds off of that. And then when it
Yeah.
comes down to like, hey, no, this is we need you to chill because this is what's really happening. They're so quick to be so defensive instead of actually listen.
Yeah. Because everybody just wants it's all clout and esports
Instant
money.
gratification too,
Yeah.
which I'm so glad you said that, Badger, because apart from all this like community issues that we've been talking about in this podcast, one thing that I've noticed that's been really strong like right now is like people like I actually can tell you from experience, and then a tweet that I saw. Like people come into my stream, and yes, I'm a competitive player, but I started off as a casual. I started off as a casual, and I started working my way up to become more competitive once I understood the game and understood more about what it
Yeah.
takes being a competitor. Not all streams are like that, and I've been seeing a lot of people go into other people's streams and tell them, A, you suck, you need to do this, or B, you need to do this. You won't ever be good if you don't do this. And it's like, bro, some people are just casuals making content.
Yeah. Some people just want to have fun. Like,
Like you should be like actually told this on my stream. Like imagine this, right? I put it into this perspective. Florida is a big state, right? Right.
yeah.
Let's say everybody in Florida bought like everybody's kids bought Mortal Kombat, right? And then I go to an offline event, right? And only 200 people, right, come to that offline event.
She says
Are
only
the
200.
technically speaking
Yeah.
that did happen, but I'm just saying.
Okay. I was like, man, if we could get 200, shit.
200 people, right? Like 200 people went into this offline that I went to, right? But that's only 200 people. That's not going to keep the game alive. Those 200
Yeah.
people, only probably 20 or 30 max probably stream the game on a consistent basis.
Or
So,
fucking
like,
come
Exactly.
back. That's the thing, is you're going to get
or come
200
back
on the
too.
first tournament because every scrub lord thinks this is their moment to shine. Yeah, man, new game. I'm going to come up. And then they go 0-2, and next week 200 turns into 20.
Yeah.
And like and that's where I bring out where like you can't say that casuals don't belong here, or you can't gatekeep casuals when like they're the majority of the game, of the community rather, and they are enjoying the game just like you're enjoying it in just a
Yeah.
different way. And this whole gatekeeping nonsense is so stupid and so ridiculous that it's actually hurting the community. And like Bratcher has been saying in every single podcast, more people are leaving the game, and when things don't change, the game dies. I'm not saying the
Yep.
game is dead because I will never ever say that the game is dead right now.
It's not dead till I stop playing it.
But
Yep.
like when people are gatekeeping and basically saying, well, you're not a good streamer for not playing this character, or you're not a good streamer because you don't know how to play this character, or why are you playing casuals? Like we get it. There's a difference between casuals and competitive. Like there's obviously a difference. The competitor is probably going to know a little bit more than the casual because they've been in a lot of tournament sets and a lot of like actual hands-on with frame data and
Yeah.
combos and all this other crap, right? but we still are a community. We still should be willing to play with each other. We should still be willing to like, hey, say, hey, you can do this if you really want to get something good. Or hey, I'm doing like a really random cough. Do you want to play with us? Like the whole that's what gatekeeping is doing. Gatekeeping is preventing casual content creators from actually like teaming up with esports content creators. And then when you pair them up, it's like, well, you're no good, like you're not really good, so why am I wasting my time with you? That's the gatekeeping I'm talking about, and that's the
Yep.
gatekeeping that will cause people to leave the game, and those 200 people will probably only become 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and then we have no prize pool, no money for our community events, and no actual way to like
But the
fund
bonus
stuff.
point
Yeah.
is when it gets that small, just showing up means you're top 8. That's always cool.
Exactly.
I made
my
top
God.
8.
Yeah.
There were 7 people at the tournament. Like, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I've covered this the other day on my stream, but I also feel that, yes, the community is shitty and most people are ignorant and stupid, but I do also feel that a lot of the fault lies in NetherRealm for that. That was something that I discussed when I did a Just Chatting stream this week, in that, like, they don't have a lot to bridge that gap in the game. So, like, if you're casual Joe and you buy the game, like, yeah, okay, you can go reach out to a streamer. But, like, let's be honest, dude. The tutorial is really good. One of the best tutorials in fighting games. It's also fucking boring, right? And,
This
like,
is true.
somebody that's new to fighting games that doesn't want to, like, go on YouTube, they just want to learn the game while they're sitting on their couch, they go in there and they're like, dude, this is just a bunch of menus and words. And I'm like, dude, Blaze Blue has their comedy character narrate that shit. Why is Johnny Cage not saying, hey, bro, this is how you flawless block, man, and then you do up two, all right? Like, why aren't they doing that shit? Why isn't the personality of Mortal Kombat seeping into everything? And that's just one issue. Yeah, the community gatekeeps, and they're pretty shitty about that, but they've always done that. The thing is, one of the things that MK11 has that puts it above other ones is that MK11 has a lot of new blood, like yourself, Saki, who are like, yo,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not participating in you old people's shit who are all irritating assholes. Like, I'm just going to do my own thing and build my own community. So MK11 has that advantage, but I feel like the game doesn't do, and the developers don't do enough to supplement what you're doing, because you can only do so much. You can
No.
teach however many people how to play, but like, if the game doesn't get people interested enough in Mortal Kombat to seek out a streamer, then what the fuck what is Saki gonna do? Like, you can't go and get the players on Xbox or PlayStation to come to your stream to like learn to get better. The game has to do things to inspire people to do that. And, you know, the NetherRealm community has traditionally been kind of shitty about gatekeeping, but at least MK11 has people like you, Saki, who never played a game before and came in and was like, yo, I'm going to fix this shit myself and do it my own way. I just with NetherRealm had things in game to inspire and motivate people to take that next step, to seek out a streamer or a YouTuber.
Low key, I don't like to brag about what my channel has done and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I'm still growing too. We're all still
Flex.
growing. We're all still like, but like that's one thing I can honestly say, that if you come to my community, you're not going to be treated that way. And if anything, we're just
Yeah.
here to learn, chill, have fun, play some games, get into some tournaments.
And that's how it should be.
Like that's how it should be, and I feel like I see that in other, like that's on, like the example I'm setting is because I've seen other streamers do that, but for other fighting games and other streaming games, you get me? And it just sucks, man. It just sucks, and it breaks my heart to see the like streamers like Stacy and Dame and even some of the other streamers that are like more casual, like they can't really do what they want to do and do what, like, enjoy what they love, which is MK, because people are just shitting on them for no
Yeah.
reason when they haven't even done anything except just play the game.
Right? I started this stream to tell dick jokes with my friends. I did not sign up for all this bullshit. I just wanted to tell dick jokes to my 5 friends who showed up regularly, and that was it. And now, like, oh, fuck. I'm, like, knee-deep in all this bullshit. And again, like, the community is so fucking ignorant and stupid, and I don't, like, the only thing I can say to other streamers is just ignore everybody else and don't lose sight of the viewers that actually matter. This is something that I told Vendetta, because when he was stressing about a lot of shit, and I was like, dude, like, who cares? At the end of the day, like, 50 people showed up to watch you play video games, and some of them gave you money for it. Like, just think about that. That's really fucking cool, Like, it's not a lot of money, but it's more money than you got when you weren't doing it. So, like,
Yeah.
people don't focus on that, and they don't focus on the fun they're having in the game. And again, I think it's because of the whole esports thing. Like, everybody is like, oh yeah, if you're not fucking playing Jackie and getting top 8 at tournaments, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to pick my Kung Lao, I'm going to get mad about hitbox issues, I'm going to tell dick jokes. And that's what I'm going to do. And you're either going to give me $5 or you're going to kick rocks. Fucking, like, that's it at the end of the day. Like, I think people just don't focus on why they got into this shit in the first place. Too many people are focused on, like, yo, man, I want to fucking esports and MLG and all that. And it's like, dude, like, who cares? Like, is the game fun? Are you having fun? People don't think about it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people nowadays, like, they just, like, want to blow up or try to get something from a prize pool. And it's just like, is that why you initially bought this game? Because I thought it would have been for fun, but,
Like, how many people are playing Fortnite because they love Fortnite, and how many people are playing Fortnite because they want to be ninja?
Exactly.
And, like, that's the NetherRealm community, and I blame NetherRealm for this because they started, like, the $10,000 prize pot bonuses and all that shit with fucking MK9, and I was like, dude, they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be make the fans fucking Street Fighter did it. The fans put their pots up. The fans made the pots, and then Capcom started putting money. Whereas NetherRealm was like, dude, we got to get this game popular. Put $10,000 in the tournament. And that was the wrong way to go because a lot of people will only go to that tournament to try and win $10,000, and when they don't win that tournament, they don't come back. Whereas you look at other fighting game communities, the people who fucking built those communities, they did it when there was no money. So if the money ever dried up, they're still there. How many people are going to do online tournaments and competitions and shit now that Aquaman's on break and Prince Panther's gone? Like, how many are we going to see? How many people are going to actually enter? Not. Like, very few are going to enter. And, like, I took a lot of offense, and I got really, really mad when a notable player said, oh, yeah, if I'm not making 30 grand on the trip, I'm not making the trip. And people were justifying that. And I'm not saying who it was, but it's someone who's gotten top 3s, right? And people were like, well, he's got a family and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, fucking Seth Killian was hosting and traveling across the fucking planet for fucking tournaments when there wasn't even a Street Fighter. Like, just him and his buddies were jumping in a van to go across the country to play Third Strike, and he had a family and kids to support when he was doing it. He didn't do it because he was making money. He did it because he fucking loves Street Fighter. And we don't have that.
Exactly.
Who do we have that's like that? We have fucking Ketchup and Mustard. That's it. That's our community. Like, Ketchup and Mustard will be at events. If there is no prize pot and there's 4 people there, Ketchup and Mustard will probably be at your event, right? But, like, who else? Who among all you top players?
People don't do things out of love for the game as much anymore.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. I've seen that a couple of times where, like, it's like, well, if there wasn't if the pot wasn't at least 500, you wouldn't really be playing. And low key, that's kind of what's happening with the beef sets and the money matches right now. Like,
nobody wants to do it unless they're getting paid.
A lot of these exhibitions, like some of the OG exhibitions, aren't happening anymore because people are going to the money matches and to the beef money matches. And it's like, it's not even a real money match or a beef. It's not like how it used to be. And I'm not saying that we should revert back to old ways because honestly, at the end of the day, as a community, we're trying to strive to become better and to, like, correct the past mistakes and actually make things better,
But it's the passion that matters. People had passion back then. It's not about we have to do it like Evo because they're right. No, we need to do it like the passion, okay? Like the passion Combo Fiend had. Daigo Umehara was traveling to America from Japan when there was no money. He probably made $100 off that Evo Moment 37. The Perry video that made him famous, he probably made $100 tops. Probably lost 2,000 traveling from Japan to America. Where is that?
Yep.
Where are those people? When I sit here and I hear top players are like, yeah. When I sit there and I watch Prince Panther go out of his way to waste an afternoon and $10,000 of his own money to have a fucking tournament, and you watch Sonic Fox barely even fucking show up to fight Koizi. And you're just like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this shit, dude? Fuck you, Sonic Fox. I felt bad for Koizi, and I am not a fan of Koizi. I do not like Koizi, but I felt bad. I was like, dude, this was his moment. Koizi probably was looking forward to this match. This is my moment to fucking show that I'm not just an online warrior. And what did he get? He got shit. You know, they did a set afterwards, but nobody cared after the fact. And it's like, dude, why are like nobody has that passion for the fucking games, because the passion wasn't there. It was the greed to start with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like doing money matches are bad or beef sets are bad, but like you can't tell me that today's beef sets or today's money matches are the same when like the game first started, for example. I just feel like when things like one of the cool things I remember when I did I'll give you example is like the 10v10 one with the island and BGX was there was that one match Train versus Averick, I think it was, and
Yeah.
it was hype because even though that they weren't gonna get like even though there was money on the line, everybody was coming to see that beef because literally on Twitter that beef was happening, right?
Yeah.
I if I go to another, if I just go to another channel and I see that they're doing a whole line of exhibitions like every single night, a beef set every single night, you get tired of the beef sets. You get kind of tired of like,
It's
okay, is this
exhausting.
really a beef set or is this really just like two friends pretending that they have beef? And like it just becomes like what we're basically right now where we're at. Like it's just stale right now, and it's just like we have a bunch of people who are building egos, who are building like I'm not saying about the money. I'm more saying about just like the nature of the community. Like people are now when people are asking, "Hey, do you want to come play in my exhibition?" Some people are like, "Well, is there money involved?" If there's not
Right?
money
Yep.
involved, then yeah.
Right? I turn down almost every exhibition that I get invited to, not because of money, but because of time issues. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
have a priority to my stream and my people, and I'm going to be there for them. And I would love to be on your exhibition, but unfortunately, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima for like 5 people right now, and those 5 people matter to me more than your exhibition. So sorry. And I've turned down Prince Panther. I remember I was streaming Final Fantasy, and Prince Panther was like, dude, I want you in my King of the Hill, $500 pot. Get in there. It starts in 2 hours, and I'm like, sorry, Prince, I'm playing Final Fantasy for 6 people. But like those people want me to play Final Fantasy, and if I abandon them, I'm no better than any other streamer that's a piece of shit. And that's
Yeah.
why it's taken me so long to host my own events. That's why I won't take any sponsors or anything for the event that I'm having. It's entirely community funded because
Yeah.
I'm bringing back that
And it's
passion.
about that dedication. It's about the dedication that you have towards the community, because then it will come back around when your community supports what you're doing.
Well, it's not only that, but I want to build those core values, right?
Yeah.
I want to bring back core values, right? Big titties. No, but the thing is it's like,
Oh
dude,
my lord.
you guys want
Oh
this
my
event,
lord.
but it's like you guys want this event, you're going to work for it the way we did in the old ways. And then when it blows up and it feels good, it's going to feel 10 times better. You're going to be so much happier, and you're going to be like, yo, dude, this was us, dude. We fucking put this shit together. Nobody helped us. Nobody was there for us. We did it because we wanted to, because we loved it. And that's why I'm like, dude, if I host events, I'm very keen to not get money involved. If I get money involved, it's your money. If you guys want money involved, you're putting the money in the pot. I'm not putting shit in. I'm not even going to go look for sponsors. Like I'm not going to look for a team. You guys are going to fund
Yeah.
this shit. So that way, if it blows up and it goes places, and trust me, man, I go in my Discord and my viewers all the time are like, why aren't you hosting beef sets? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you pursuing that? And I'm like, no, because you know what? There was a lot of problems with the old school. A lot of them. I'm not disputing that. But you know what? The old school got to the point where it could be a new school because of certain things. And I'm not going to let
Yeah.
us forget those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. It sucked. Like, dude, like, fuck, man. I made no money off that Final Fantasy stream. I didn't get a single sub that day. I didn't get a single dono that day. I could have gone to Prince Panther's tournament and got clout and $500. But I was like, no, that's not what I'm all about. I can't sit there and say that I'm better than everybody else and then do what everybody else does.
Yeah. And then it's just like it always just loops back around to like what was it before the money? You know what I mean? Like before all these beef sets and before the money matches and all that. It's like why did people do it before? It's because of their love for the game and content creation, and it wasn't just all about money. And just has to loop back around to that like core value. So
right? And people, they don't have that. They don't have their killer instinct. They don't have their fighting edge. Like they just want clout, money, and fame. And I'm like, dude, that's not like nobody. Daigo did not get famous because he chased fame. Okay, like Sonic Fox did not get famous because he chased fame. He chased just wanted to play that. He just loved playing the games. You know how many people shit on Sonic Fox for not playing Street Fighter? And he's like, dude, I just like Mortal Kombat. I just want to play Mortal Kombat.
that's
That's
because
it.
it's what he. It's like holy shit, he's doing it because get this, he enjoys it. Whoa, like
And like, how
it's
many
almost like
people?
having fun is a foreign concept for people now, and it's just like this is why you should be doing it. If you're not enjoying it, if you're not having fun, then what are you doing?
Yeah, like how many people in our scene, in our community, in the NetherRealm games, Mortal Kombat, how many people can say that? How many fucking Tweeties like, yeah, I'm not fucking playing this game. I don't like it unless there's tournaments. And I agree with Tweety. I'm not shitting on Tweety. He's like, yo, dude, I just love competition. I love going to events. They're fun. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
man, I can respect that. But how many people have the other side of that argument of like, I'm not going if like I can't win money or I can't get paid? I'm telling you, it's the majority of them. The majority.
yeah,
Nobody fucking plays the game for fun. Nobody plays it because they love it. And once the money dries up, so does the community. And that's why I'm like, dude, we've got to get the money out. No more money. Like, it's kind of a blessing as well as a curse that Prince Panther's done, because it's like, yeah, it sucks that there's not going to be any more money, but you know what? Fuck it. We didn't deserve it in the first place. So
yeah.
now that Prince Panther, now that we don't have a guardian angel to come and drop $10,000 on a tournament for us, and we actually have to build a prize pot of $10,000, we actually have to put in the work to convince fucking what is it, 1,000 people to put $10 up to get us to a $10,000 prize pot. Now the work begins, and now we can prove whether or not we fucking deserve this in the first place.
Exactly.
And it sucks that that's what our community is, but our community started off in the wrong direction, and that's what we get. I called this shit out a long time ago. A lot of the things, like, I feel like the fucking old man prophet, right? Because I say this shit and I'm like, dude, I've seen this before. I've seen this in the visions, the stones. I saw it in the stones, and
Herbs yells at me all the time because I'll tell him something. Excuse me. I'll tell him something, and I'll be like, Herbs, this is gonna happen, and you need to be prepared. And when it happens, he's like, Yo, Saki, you were right. And I'm like, Bitch, I know I was right. I see it coming from 10 miles away. Like I
exactly.
see.
Except I've
It's
seen it happen before. It's not even I seen it coming. It's like, dude, nope, that happened before. That happened before. It reminds me of a Cuban friend I had who, like, his grandma fucking hated Barack Obama, and like every time like Barack Obama would say something, she's like, "Orale, reminds me of Fidel. Fidel said the same." That was Fidel, and I'm like, and I mean, obviously Barack Obama didn't
very
turn into
actually.
Fidel, but it just reminds me. I feel like I'm the grandma. I'm like, like when all this shit happens, I'm like, it reminds me of Fidel. It is Fidel.
In regards to all of that, I think we just, as a community, we just need to be a lot better. We need to start working on being better. We've gone through, if we start with MK9 to now, which is when, like, obviously this is where we start seeing the new school people, like, we need to be better. We need to be more
We
understanding.
do.
We need to listen to each other. We need to coexist with each other. And I really like what Wise said in my chat. And Wise said that as like we shouldn't be looking at it as sides. We need to look at it as two different aspects of the community coexisting with each other. And I think right now we're not seeing that, and we're having a lot more arguments. And just like we need to just look at ourselves and say, okay, what kind of person do we want to be in this community? And if this and I feel like when a lot of people start asking that question, we can start maybe moving forward a little bit and actually understanding the meaning of respect, actually understanding how important it is that, like, right now we gotta come together, because two people, Aquaman and Prince Panther, are really, well, Prince Panther already confirmed, but Aquaman is still kind of like up in the air. But like, these are two people who provided the most events, and they're on the cusp of leaving and being like no longer part of the community for events, and like that's just crazy. Like we literally drove them away.
And
We
they're
drove them
probably
away
never
for that.
coming back, and that's the shame. Is that
Probably never coming
Yeah.
if
back.
Aquaman gives it up, Aquaman's giving it up for good. Like Aquaman's got enough of a community to where if he just started playing fucking Blaze Blue or fucking Call of Duty, he'd probably still have a
He'd
pretty
be
decent
fine.
size. He'd probably have a decent
Yeah.
sized stream. You know, I see
He'd
him
still
like
be doing good.
I see him play Doom Eternal, and he pulls a couple hundred people watching him play Doom Eternal, and I'm like, well, dude, he doesn't have to do MK. He doesn't
He can
have to
he,
do MK.
he he can move to another game, and while it is gonna like hurt him, it won't hurt him long. That's him as a streamer, and that's him with the relationships that he's built. And that's not knocking on him. That's not a, like, even someone right now, even someone just said to me, they know him personally. They can definitely tell that if he leaves, he stays leave. Like, I love that mindset because I'm the same mindset. But Aquaman is a businessman and also a good content creator. He'll find his other community when it comes down to it. So like, yeah,
We just don't
Yeah.
deserve Aquaman. At the end of the day, the
no, we
community didn't
really
deserve
don't.
him. The amount of work that guy and people come into my chat all the time shitting on him. Oh, he's fake and he's phony, and I'm like, dude, like, have you ever been on the other side of this fucking camera and seen what it takes to do
The
all
thing is,
that?
though,
Like,
even like if that is true, it's just like he's still done a lot for the community regardless, and it's like you kind of can't just ignore it.
I don't
Or
think you can.
minimize it, or minimize it. You can't tell someone, oh, the only reason why you're spreading positivity is because you're earning money. Like, bro, first off, as a streamer and a content and an influencer, a lot of the stuff that he does, he sees probably very little pennies, right? The Coliseum he ran, for example, may have gotten the support like for the prize pool, but he probably didn't see much money out of it except for the subs he got during those streams.
Right? Like people don't understand, and I get it all the time from my own community. Like my own viewers are like, dude, if you played fucking Apex, you'd blow up. If you played Fortnite, you'd be huge. Nobody is playing, like no streamer is streaming Mortal Kombat in hopes of like blowing up. If I wanted to blow up, I would play PUBG and I'd probably be a millionaire by now. But like I don't want to I play Mortal Kombat because I like the fucking game. I like playing Mortal Kombat, right? And I know every MK streamer that's worth a shit has had a viewer tell them that. I'm sure you two have. Like,
Yeah.
a viewer, I'm sure Saki, someone was like, yo, if you just dropped Mortal Kombat and played like Tekken, Vendetta himself told me. Vendetta, who got partner and is like blowing up, and he was like, dude, you specifically, this is me talking to you man to man as coworkers. Get out of MK. Go play Tekken. You have the connections. You love Tekken. You have the connections. You can do it. Like, you'd be so much bigger if you played Tekken. And, like, I go to bed at night and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, maybe I should just be streaming Tekken. Like, maybe I should just drop fucking Mortal Kombat. And not because I don't enjoy the game, but because I don't enjoy the bullshit. Tired of this shit. Like, I'm tired of, like, how stupid our community is. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Fuck you. I can go. I can call up fucking Rip. Dude, I know Eris personally. I can hit up Eris and be like, yo, man, like, hook me up, I can fucking call up any Tekken Pro, and fucking most of them would hook me up and give me a raid or give me a host. I can go places in Tekken, but it's like, God, man, I really like this game. I really like the community I have. If I go to Tekken, a lot of my MK viewers are gone, and yeah, I'll get new Tekken viewers, but damn it, I like some of these people.
Mhm.
And it's like
Yeah, and
nobody
you hate to see it. Like,
No, even Sonic Fox is not making fucking Call of Duty PUBG money off of Mortal Kombat, okay? Like
Yeah.
maybe Maximilian is making tons of cash off of fucking Mortal Kombat, but he doesn't just do Mortal Kombat. Nobody's fucking
He does
playing
what
this.
Exactly.
he wants.
You know,
I think
nobody is a content creator for the money. People enter tournaments for the money. Those guys are bitch asses. But when's the last time you saw half of those tournament players make a fucking tutorial? When's the last time you saw half of them invest in their fucking stream? Half of them, I'm not naming names, but they don't even have a fucking camera and a mic. And it's like, yeah, that guy's not obviously here for the love of the game. But there are those of us out there that actually are. And quite frankly, you push us too far, you're not going to have us.
I love you guys. You know
I
that?
love you guys too. But I'm just saying
We
there's
just out here having fun.
there's only so much bullshit that people are going to put up with before they feel like it's not worth their time anymore. And I feel like for a lot of
Yeah.
MK
Like,
content
it makes you
creators,
sad.
they're almost,
It
a
is
lot of
sad.
them are almost there, man. I go on Twitter and people are like, yeah, I'm done. Sorry. Last tutorial. You know, last tournament was the last tournament.
Yeah, and it's it's upsetting.
It is upsetting.
It is,
I
but
got to put it at the least.
the flip side of
I,
that for me that keeps me motivated is okay, those people that are ahead of me are dropping out. So now's my time to step up and take their spot at the table. And that's what's kind of keeping me going is like, okay, Aquaman can quit. Maybe I can do Aquaman better and be the next Aquaman. Maybe I can take a step up. Maybe I can step up and take Prince Panther's spot and do these events, do them my way. This is like, it sucks that these people are bailing out, but this is an opportunity for me, and I'm just hoping that other people that do content creation for Mortal Kombat see this as the opportunity and takes advantage and doesn't fuck it up the second time.
Exactly. It's, oh man, I really, as a whole, I just really want to see things pan out well for MK11 and its community, like looping back to it, kind of. I just really hope to see that our community can come back and grow more. And I mean,
I'm always
obviously, we're still growing, but I just, it seems like we're just in a funk right now, and we just gotta get past it.
I'm always optimistic. Maybe because of like the experience that I've gone through in life, I'm very optimistic when things like this happen. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm like still in like neutral because it hasn't happened yet or nothing has happened. I'm sure we can. I just think that for things to change, we have to be willing to change. And I think that there are people, especially the new people in MK, who are willing to push for that change. Um, it's just like it gets tiring, man, and it's like it's honestly like what
It's
you said,
exhausting.
creative. Like we're in a funk right now. We're in a funk right now, and like to see Aquaman like take that break or take this very much needed break is like this is the warning sign. Either we do something
Yeah,
about it or we're not in the good direction. So like if you guys are listening to this podcast and you're part of the community and you're the ones who are either watching the tournaments or being part of the tournaments or even supporting the community by checking out Aquaman and like a lot of the other streamers, like him taking this break is a warning sign. And if you guys really care,
yeah,
you need to take this warning sign seriously and help with making things better. Help spread that positivity. How can you spread that positivity? You come into chats and you be welcoming. You come into Twitter and you say, hey, I found this new combo. Or hey, people who are new to the game, this is what you can do with this character. Or hey, does anybody want sets? I'm trying to get better. You build the community and you try to work with the community and you try to coexist with each other. And again, take what's going on right now as the warning lesson that we all need to see and like actually be better.
Hopefully, it's a warning that is heeded, but
Hmm.
it's just one of those things, man. It's one of those things. I've seen it happen, and I've called it out and said it's going to happen, and now it's happening. And I've never been so mad about being right. That's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I've never been so mad that I was right. Like I really wished I was wrong. I wish things were different this time, but they're not. And like what can I do other than what I'm already doing? That's where I'm at. Is like, what can I do differently? Well, there's not much I can do differently, so I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. But like, it's just so much. It's all clout chasing and jealousy, and that corruption is what's ruined what we had. I'm hoping
Forgot
that
money
shit gets
matches.
washed out. Yeah, I mean, money matches are hype. I'm not hating on them, but
No, I'm
Yeah.
not hating on them either. I think to go back on it, like we should definitely make it clear, like we're not telling you to not do the hustle. What we're telling you guys is like you shouldn't.
That's not what it's all about.
It's not what it's all about. Like if you're taking those money matches and someone says, "Hey, can I get a game with you?" You shouldn't say, "Well, are you gonna pay me for it?" That's what we're trying to talk about. That's what
yeah,
we're trying.
Yeah.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
like, can I just play the game, maybe?
Right? And I mean, it's half community, but it's half NetherRealm, and I think everybody all together needs to be held accountable and taken to task. Because if this is supposed to be a thing that continues to be a thing, then there's a lot of work that needs to be done, not just by the community, but by NetherRealm. Um, NetherRealm is far more invested in us than we are in them. I can play a different game. All of you watching and listening can play a different game. If we stop playing Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm doesn't have a paycheck. So they're more invested than us, and we need to hold them accountable as well for everything, just kind of being shitty right now. But yeah, we've gone a half hour over time.
Man, I don't even mind, honestly.
I don't either.
This was such a needed conversation.
It's
Given,
therapeutic
like,
for me.
it was definitely
It
therapeutic.
was.
It was
It
very
was kind of,
therapeutic.
for me, it almost felt like kind of like somewhat venting about the community.
Well,
But
because we're faces of the community, like it or not.
yeah,
When you turn on the camera, like I can't just hide behind a screen name like 80% of the people on Xbox Live, right? Like everybody knows who I am. Everybody's seen me, and they have an opinion one way or the other. So, we who step out into traffic are the ones that get hit by the cars. But we're
yep,
also the only ones who ever see the other side of the street.
that shit still hurts.
It does. It does. And people, like, they tell me, they're like, man, like, you're like, I just started talking to my brother and told him what I do, and he's like, dude, you're living the dream. And I'm like, it's not always a dream. I can get you
Yeah,
started if you
sometimes
want.
things aren't. Not everything's all it's cracked up to be.
Right? But like, I'm gonna keep fighting the good fight, and hopefully make something of this. It's just I can't do it by myself. It's got
Yeah,
to be
because
an effort.
if there's not those few people that put up a good fight, then who's gonna do it?
But I will say, like, as a closing thought, I feel privileged that I'm in this position to where I can be the one to fight. Because I don't know if you guys have ever played Mass Effect. One of my favorite characters was Solus, and I always think of that one final quote. It has to be me. Someone else is gonna fuck it up, and I take pride. I take pride in thinking about that. Like, yo, like I watch other streamers fuck it up. I watch other competitors fuck it up. It's got to be me. It's got to be me. I mean, it is kind of a
Exactly.
weird flex, but I take pride in that weird flex. Someone else is gonna fuck it up, so I'm glad to be here. Hopefully, you guys enjoy me being here, because otherwise, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be pretty.
Well, all right, guys, let's start wrapping up.
Yeah.
We can actually leave with this positive note. AT&T is no longer selling Warner Brother games, therefore EA
Oh,
can
I
suck
saw
another
that.
one.
Fucking go!
Let's
Right?
fucking go.
Right?
That's like
I
that's
think
literally the best possible way to end it.
I think that's one of the reasons why NetherRealm was so silent. Honestly, is they didn't know if they were going to have a job, so they didn't want to make write checks that their
Yeah.
ass couldn't catch. And you notice how once that came out that AT&T isn't selling Warner Brothers, now they're like, hey
Came
man,
out
we're
fast.
doing Fandom, and here's all the skin packs we're working on. Like now they're starting to
Right?
communicate. I think that is probably why they've been so silent, and it makes me hopeful. Again, I want to see to believe it. If the communication is better going forward, then all right, my theory was correct. But if it isn't, then all right, and I'll eat my words. But I think that's why they've been quiet for so long, is because they didn't even know if they had a job tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean, and that
That's always
makes
so
plenty of
scary
sense.
too. It's so scary.
Yeah, that's scary as fuck.
Right? But they're still in it. They're still in it,
Yep.
so we're still in it, baby. I'm going to teabag the shit out of all you guys yet.
Listen, man, when our 5v5 happens, you're going down,
Not
Magic.
happening.
You
Not
you
happening.
you ain't ready. I'm actually going against Ethereum tonight on Vicious Vendetta. You're not ready, bro. You are not ready for the taste of the island, okay?
No, it ain't
You're
happening.
not ready.
I
You're
feel
not
like you
ready.
and Ethereum fighting tonight is gonna be like that meme where he's pointing the gun at someone, but he's also crying. Like,
Right? I just beat
it's
Saki.
like I don't
We've
want to have to
always
do it,
beaten
but somebody's
Saki.
got to lose.
Right?
Or it's like I'm trying to think of the meme where it's like the Earth and it's the astronaut.
That's what
And
he was talking about.
I feel like that's gonna be a moment, and I'm gonna. It's gonna be fun. Anyways, guys, 10v10.
Yeah.
No, 10v10. When we doing this, Badger? When we doing this?
I'm not sure. Did not know that was a thing until you tweeted it out, and I was like, I went in my Discord and I was like, apparently Saki wants to
Hey, let's
smoke.
go.
I was like, apparently Saki wants to set up a little bit of beef with us, and I know we have superior oranges here in SoCal, so let's give him the juice.
Oh my god, I remember that with the oranges.
Right? I'm
gonna DM you for that date, and we're gonna get a graphic going, and your ass is going down. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know, I know how to crouch walk. You're not going to be able to zone me forever. Like, I don't think you know, my community, we're a very aggressive group. Sometimes your viewers come into my stream and they're like, do a set. And I'm like, man, you backdash a lot. I don't think you know. My people know how to deal with that. My people can get around the obstacle course. Right? I'm ready. I'm hype. I'm excited. And so are my people. Just let me know in the DMs. And we can make it a thing.
I got you.
It was a good podcast. It's always fun.
It's cathartic.
Y'all.
Anyway,
Nice break.
Thank
before
you guys
we sign
so
off,
much for,
socials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Socials. Yep. Well, I'm creative _ royalty for pretty much everything, unless it's my Twitter. Now I'm just creative sucks because somebody took it.
You have clout now too. People talk about you in other chats.
I don't know why I'm still free.
Right.
You're a collector player. That's why
Probably.
you're.
I'm like one of the 10 people that plays them.
All right. You guys can find me at Saki Sakura TV, both on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And yeah.
Pretty much. And I mean, if you're watching this on one of my channels, you already know how to find me. But if you're checking it out somewhere else, I am SoCal for Southern California, Honey Badger. Okay, not social Honey Badger, not SoCal Horny Badger, none of that. Okay, it's all one word. There's no spaces on the Twitch, the YouTube. On Twitter, I'm SoCal Honey Bag One. But I mean, you know, if you see a hashtag cancel Honey Badger, that's probably talking about me. Just click that. You'll be able to follow me there. And yeah, that's gonna be it for us. I want to thank Saki and Creative for coming out. I appreciate it, and I want to thank everybody watching and listening at home.
Good shit, team.
Right, the Kombat Pack will not be killed until Kombat Pack 3 is released.
All right.
Later,
Catch you guys.
All right, see you guys later.